Hello and thank you for joining me. My name is Chris Townsend and today we're going to discuss the MyPowerHub Administrator Portal. During this presentation we'll take some time to discuss logging into the portal. I'll also provide you an overview of the MyPowerHub screens and their functions as it pertains to the version of MyPowerHub provided by Meta Solutions. Let's start by discussing logging into PowerHub. MyPowerHub uses the same authentication system as PowerSchool SIS, whether you're an administrator, educator, guardian, or student. This means that whatever username and password that you used to log into your respective PowerSchool portal before, whether that was admin, teacher, or public, you'll use the same credentials to log in now. The only difference is going to be which URL you used to log in. There are 3 different portals that you can log into. There's the educator portal, the guardian portal, and the student portal. Educator portal is going to be used by both teachers and educators. I'll go ahead and we'll log in now. Again, you can see this login screen looks pretty much just like the standard login for PowerSchool SIS. And what you'll notice is once you put in your username and password and you click sign in, that's when you're going to see things look a little bit different. It'll pull up this pretty little PowerSchool load screen, and then you're into the SIS. Now that we're logged into MyPowerHub, let's take a moment to walk through the various icons and functions on the home page. Let's start up here in the top left corner. You'll see this icon. This is the left nav bar slider. You can see clicking that and toggling that will hide and expand that left navigation bar. To the right of that, you're going to see the MyPowerHub home screen link. Just like with the SIS, clicking this is going to bring you back to the home screen, to this home screen, regardless of what page or screen that you're on. To the right of that is your profile settings and your sign out icon. Again, if you can click on this, you can see you have the sign out button. You also have language and locale settings. Those settings, there aren't a whole lot of options here. You can select your home country, which is going to format date, time, and currency based off of that country's settings. And then there is a language selection option for automatic translation. Keep in mind, this is not going to automatically translate every piece of data that you can see within MyPowerHub, but it is going to translate any data that is on the MyPowerHub site. So the title of Power Tiles for parents and students is going to be in their home language. Things up here are going to be in home language. Menu options are going to be in home language. However, the data that is pulled from the SIS is likely still going to be in English. To the right of that is the application menu. This is the menu where application links that you create will live. You'll see that later when we talk about portal configuration. If you have App Switcher enabled on your SIS, this is also where App Switcher would live in the Educator portal for MyPowerHub. Right here, if you look to our left, this is the building or student selector. The slide out menus function could be different depending on which portal you're logged into. If you're logged into the Educator portal, it's going to give you the option to choose between buildings that you have access to. Keep in mind, building access is determined by the buildings that you have access to within PowerSchool SIS. That means if you're a systems administrator, like a district leader, you're probably going to be seeing every school, every building. If you're a teacher at a couple of schools, you're only going to see the schools that you're a teacher at. In the Guardian portal, that is going to be the student selector or the student switcher. That's where you could click to bring out the options for which students you have linked to yourself that you could choose between. And in the student portal, again, it's going to be a building selector. For most students, that means there isn't really going to be a dropout menu with other options. It's just going to be the building they're in. But there are situations where, say, for example, you're a middle school student and you attend a class at the high school, in that situation, when you click that, you're going to be able to see the kick out for both buildings. Just keep in mind, only the information that applies for the student at that building is going to be displayed within the student portal. All right, let's take a moment now to look through the configuration items and the menu options within the admin tab. One thing that's worth noting before we dive into this, just some definitions, some kind of general verbiage within these slide out menus. It's just good for you to be aware of. You'll notice within this slide out menu we have the portal configuration, the district configurations, and the application settings. These three items within a slide out menu are known as the categories. And then below those categories, you have a name, and inside of that name, you have a URL link. That way, when you look at a category and you click on the name, it's going to bring you to the page you're going to want to look at. So let's start with the application settings in MyPowerHub. I'm going to go ahead and click on this. And you'll notice that there are two tabs that pop up that you can have, a global configuration and a feature management tab. The global configuration is simply the spot where you can enable and disable the different MyPowerHub portals. If these aren't marked as checked, that means they are not enabled. So if somebody would not be able to sign into, if this was unchecked, a guardian can't sign in. If this was unchecked, a student couldn't sign in. Also, you should be aware that access to MyPowerHub can also be disabled via the admin sys menu by going within district settings and disabling the public portal. Again, because MyPowerHub authenticates off of the same system as the parent-student portals, if you disable the parent portal, they're not going to be able to log in. The other tab here, this is feature management. This screen allows you to disable and enable all of the various power tiles by feature, by school, and by portal using these drop-down filters. So you can see here we have a whole lot of things that you would have to sift through to find all of the different power tiles for all of the different schools at all of the different portals. And you can kind of see a big wide layout here. In fact, there's multiple pages on this because there are so many options for this district. But you can filter those. If you click on the feature drop down, this is going to let you choose between the power tiles that you want to select. You can click select all to deselect all, and then you can add those as needed, or again, you can just click select all to reselect all. Additionally, you have the school drop down filter, which is going to let you choose between the different school buildings that you have associated with your district. You have the applications filter, which is going to let you choose between power tiles that display for the guardian, student, or educator portal. And finally, you have the status filter, which is going to let you show either both in this case or active or hidden. Again, as with all of these filters, just select all to deselect all. You'll also notice that there is a bulk actions. Right now, that is grayed out. If I were to say select over here, this little option now tells me to select everything. You'll see that this bulk actions lights up. Basically, you have to have items selected in order to apply bulk actions. Just be aware of that. Again, when you make a change, make sure you click save. If you didn't save it, it didn't happen. All right, now let's go ahead and take a moment to look at the district configuration options within MyPowerHub. If we load this page up, you'll notice that there are two tabs on this page as well, the Student Information Sync tab and the Role Mapping tab. Much of the granular data for students is pulled in real time from the SIS. However, PowerSchool SIS does automatically sync some data with MyPowerHub each morning, generally at around 2 a.m. On this screen, you can see the historical logs for the data that has been synced. If there is troubleshooting that were needed, there is a details button here that you can click on the right side that can be used to review data that was synced, some of the details in the data and whatnot. Additionally, if for some reason you were to need to sync data immediately, there is a Sync Now button that you can click that will push a sync through right away. The Role Mapping tab, this is where various security groups and roles from PowerSchool Sys can be synced to the MyPowerHub One roster roles. When MyPowerHub is first implemented, Meta and PowerSchool work with you to make sure that the PowerSchool Sys administrator security group is already synced to your MyPowerHub One roster rule. As you can see here, the administrator security group was synced to the One roster rule for systems administrator. Additionally, there are some roles that you'll see, such as guardian, student, and teacher, where those are automatically synced as well to those one roster roles. For the meta provided version of MyPowerHub, there typically wouldn't be any other role mapping needed at this time. However, if you feel that there are any issues within this screen that need addressed, I'd recommend you just submit a ticket up to Meta so that we can assist you with any questions or problems you may be running into. Some of these other roles that you'll see, these would come into play and matter if you were to get some of the upgraded packages from PowerSchool directly. If you did that, at that point, they would be able to support you further with MyPowerHub and those additional features and functions to make sure that everything is mapped accordingly for your district. Finally, we're going to take a minute to take a look at the portal configuration, manage resource links and apps. On this screen, this is where you're going to be able to add any of the resource links or application links that you may want to make for your district. On this first homepage screen, you're going to be able to see all of the links that you have already created. You can filter on those by the location, whether that's located in the resource links tab that will live on that left navigational bar, or the applications menu that lives up here in that applications menu waffle. You can also filter by the link category. In our example, we only have one category, but you could have multiple, and that'll allow you to filter. And finally, you can filter by who this is available to. In other words, which portal these are going to display at. You'll also notice on this screen all of those items listed, and there's nice little icons that kind of go along with that to make things look a little bit nicer. There's also edit buttons along the side here. Any links that you create, you can edit. You can come in, you can change what whether it's an application menu link or a resource link. You can change what category it lives under. You can change the name or the URL, and again, whatever portal you want it to be able to display at. Just make sure any changes you make, you click that save button. If you didn't save it, it didn't happen. If you want to create resource links, it's important to keep in mind that you have categories. Again, as mentioned before, the categories are these darker items in a slide out menu with the what would be referenced like a resource link or a deep link housed underneath each one. If you click on the Manage Links categories, you can see the one link or the one category we've already created, a report card. I could delete that if I wanted. I could create additional categories here, or I could rename that category. If I click on the Add Link button, you're going to have options to be able to create those new links. The first thing you have to select is where is this link going to live? Is it going to be an applications menu link up here, or is it going to be a resource link that lives in the slide out to the left? You also have to choose a link category. You can see that report card category that we've already created. If you created others, those are going to be listed as well. You can name it whatever you'd like. So we can create a name. And if you ever need to rename it, you can go into that edit screen. And then finally, the URL where it'll live and what portal it's available to. That's pretty much the long and short of the admin portal. Hope that this was informative for you. If you have any other questions, again, feel free to reach out to us with a ticket. We'd be happy to assist you as needed. And thank you for your time.